Good evening. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. How's everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone is doing well. Wave when you join, send me a comment, say hello. Oh, let me start. I'm not on Instagram tonight, you guys, so I'm going to follow the comments on my iPad again. I think that worked well. So say hello when you join. And just while you're coming in, I'm going to start Facebook on my iPad. All right. So how's everyone doing? Did everyone see the pictures this week? So I put up pictures with the sangria hair. So tonight we're going to talk about what I thought of the red versus the brown. And then I have a new brand. My neighbor was nice enough to put me onto a brand that she uses. They have a hair color. It's not really called a wax, but it's a gel that I'm going to be testing out. So we're going to look at that. And then I said tonight's feature was going to be Design Essentials. It's a new brand that I've been using that I really I think highly of. I like it a lot. And then my hair is actually still pretty wet. I just washed my hair this afternoon. So I'm going to tell you what is in the lineup this week because I switched my products. All right, so let's get into it. So, I've been using, I don't have the sangria out here with me, but I've been using the ORS Color Blast. What is this? Temporary hair color wax, right? So the first time I used it, I was using Golden Bars, which was the brown color. And then last week, I used Sangria, which was the reddish color, which I put some pictures up with that. And I have to tell you, I was really crazy about the brown. I did like the sangria quite a bit. I really liked it. But the problem with the sangria was it flaked like crazy. I mean, it was everywhere. I had to wash my sink multiple times a day. Every time I washed my hands, I had to scrub my sink. If I brushed off my shoulders, my sink was full of the product. I found little flakes of the product everywhere on different products in my bathroom. So it really was, it's a beautiful color, but I have I have to find a way for it to stop the flaking and manage the flaking. Otherwise, it's not really something that I would do other than for maybe more than a day. If you wanted to go somewhere and you were going to wear your hair up, I would maybe do it for something like that. But if I can't figure out how to get it to stop flaking, that's not a product that I'm going to be able to keep using. So what I did do last night was I actually reached out to ORS on Instagram and I sent them a note, very nice. And I just said, I love the product. I've been using it. Can you tell me how or what I can do to get it to stop flaking because it is everywhere. And I was watching one of the influencers and she described it as pixie dust. And I said, you know what? That really is a good description for it because it doesn't flake in your hair. You don't see it. You just see like it drops particles everywhere. So I sent a note to them via Instagram, and when I woke up this morning, they did answer me. They said, "Can you please give us the steps and, let us know how you are applying the product?" So I said, "Absolutely," and I gave them all of the steps. And so now I'm just waiting for a response back from them so that they can give me some tips and pointers on what it is that I can be doing to keep it from flaking. So I'm looking forward to them responding. I was actually glad that, it was less than 24 hours, less than even maybe 12 hours from the time I contacted them, from the time that they responded. So I was happy to see that they were at least acknowledging it and that they knew that there was an issue and they were willing to follow up and hopefully address it. So those of you on my personal page on Facebook, say hello, leave a comment, let me know who's with me. All right, so I was outside this week. I go for a walk in the morning. I try to go walking at 7 o'clock. And my neighbor next door, she said, "Oh, Allison, is that Curl Smith?" is that Ruby. So I said, what is Curlsmith? So she said, oh, it's this is, and I picked it up. You know, I had to jump right on it. Let's see if I can get this. Hey, Wen. She says it's the only thing that she uses. Now, I'm aware of a lot of brands, but I've actually never heard of Curlsmith before. So this is the same sort of product. It's a temporary hair color, but they call this, okay, so this is Curlsmith color recipe. This is Ruby. Temporary color styling gel. Rinses out in one wash. Also, just like the Curls Unleashed. So my neighbor told me that she uses this. I'm not really sure what color she uses, but she said she uses it. And she said for her, she has zero flaking. So I said, okay, I'm going to jump right on it. And this is sort of like the sangria color that I just washed out of my hair today. So I was so excited. I said, okay, and this is vegan. This line is supposed to be all natural products. So I'm really interested. I'm going to start to look into this line and test out some other things that they have. Now, I will say in terms of price point, this was 3 fluid ounces, and I got this from the store Ulta. This was $19.99, as opposed to the ORS Curls Unleashed, this Color Blast Wax. This is, I think this is 5 or 6, it's so small. Fluid ounces. Now, this was $7.99. I told you I got this at a Target for $7.99. It was $9.99 in the beauty supply store. So we'll see. This is considerably, more money, more than double the price. But if this doesn't flake and I can put this in my hair and I can use this all week with no problem, then I am ecstatic. All right, so I'm going to be trying this. I don't know. I'm not going to put it in this week because I'm trying to give my hair a break. You know, I want to alternate weeks. One week I'll put in the hair color. The next week I'll just let my hair rest, and then I'll go on to whatever I want to try next. So I'm not going to try this week, but I will maybe try this next weekend and see how I like it. All right, so stay tuned for the reviews on this. And I'm going to keep you posted and let you know about, how I think about this and whether or not it flakes. Now, I will say I did watch some reviews on this brand. After she told me about this brand, I went back and I watched the reviews on it. And the reviews were mixed. So some of the women said it did flake. Some of the people said it didn't flake. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, so had some excellent reviews, and a lot of the other products in their line really had 4 and 5 star ratings. So overall, this brand seems to be pretty good. So I'm excited. Hey, Nick, I'm excited to test this out. So we'll see what happens. All right. So I said to you guys, I was going to be talking to you this week about Design Essentials. So Design Essentials is the new brand that I have been using. Now, I happened to find this, and I talked about this briefly last week. I found these at online through JCPenney. So JCPenney, I don't know, for those of you who are shopping online, especially during this pandemic, I've said this before, I'm finding some excellent bargains. So they have been running very good deals on their hair products. So I happened to see these, and I was just really curious. I've heard of the brand, didn't know much about it, really had not been too exposed to it and used it. But the first thing that I picked up was this Honey Cream Moisture Retention Super Detangling Conditioning Shampoo. So I picked this up, and then the next time I looked, I found this Agave and Lavender Blow Dry and Silk Press Collection Moisturizing Hair Bath. So I said, well, let me try this. And I actually took some pictures. If you saw a few weeks ago when I was out on the water, when I was at the beach, I actually tried this. This is Design Essentials Coconut and Minoy Curl Defining. Now, I don't know how you say this, but I call it like a gel. And I actually put this in my hair and styled it and went out to the beach to take pictures. And the moisture from the ocean, and the humidity from the heat and everything just destroyed the hairstyle. But I actually really like this. So I think I'm going to try this again now that the weather is changing and it can hold up in the heat and the humidity. It didn't do too well for me where I was with the high temperatures and the high water in the air. So I'm going to try this again. And then I think for me, the star of the show is this rosemary and mint conditioner. So this says super stimulating, super moisturizing conditioning cream. Now I love this. This, and I like everything, honestly, and I'll talk about them one by one. But this, if I had to pick, if somebody said to me, you can only have one product in the line right now out of everything that you tried, hands down, I would go with this conditioner. And why? Why is that? This conditioner, okay, so you know I like creamy things. Those of you that follow me every week know that I really like a lot of creamy products. I like cream leave-ins, curl styling creams, creamy conditioners. So this is a nice cream, not too thick, not too thick, not too heavy. It smells it smells very minty, and I like this because when you put this on your scalp, for me at least anyway, I really feel the tingling of the mint, and I happen to like that sensation, and I think it's probably good in terms of increasing the circulation and bringing the blood flow to the scalp. That's what I know of using mint and peppermint oil and things of that nature in the hair. So I really like it. But when I put this in my hair, um, I just found that it left it very moisturized and it was very soft. So those of you that are with me every week know that I've been really struggling with the texture of my hair, and I'm trying to get it back to its normal state without having to cut it all off. And I found that this conditioner it was very detangling. I didn't have a lot of tangles in my hair. I didn't have a lot of hair in the comb and comb out and things like that. So I really like it. This is a go-to, and I like it so much. I said this last week that they had 3 left in stock at JCPenney, and I bought all 3. I didn't want to risk not having it. Okay, so then let's talk about this honey cream shampoo. Now, I got to tell you guys, I was a proud mama this weekend because my daughter is home, and she, I told her I would do her hair. I wanted to give her a mask. I wanted to put the fenugreek in there and the amla in because, like me, she was talking about having a lot of breakage. She's too young to really have too much shedding like the way that I'm having shedding, but she wanted some help with her hair. So I said, I'll do your hair while you're home. I'm going to give you the fenugreek treatment that I gave myself because still, again, I think this is the 3rd time that I've washed my hair since I started using the fenugreek. And I still have to say the same thing. The amount of breakage and shedding that I've experienced now that I have been giving myself the fenugreek, it really has diminished to a minimal amount where I can't even complain about it anymore. So my daughter, why was I such a proud mama? Because her big sister, my oldest daughter, washed her hair for me because I was doing something. And then when she was done, I took over and I gave her the mask. But it's funny, we were all sitting in the kitchen and I'm sitting here doing whatever I was doing at the time. And Courtney's over there, she's, taking care of her sister. And I was like, this reminds me of growing up because my grandmother was a licensed beautician. And she would come, I remember her coming over on the weekends and helping my mother with my older sister's hair. So they would be in the kitchen on Saturdays washing and, straightening hair and doing all of that stuff. So it took me back. It was like one of those family moments where everybody's in the kitchen and everybody, you've got your hair products all around, and they were focused on hair. So, and then the other funny thing is when my daughter was done, I mixed up, I gave her a treatment, a hot oil treatment with avocado oil, grapeseed oil, amla powder, and fenugreek. So I put the oils in the pan, I warmed them up, and then I mixed in about a teaspoon of fenugreek, about a teaspoon of amla, made a warm treatment for her, put that in her hair, had her cover it, and leave it in for about 2 hours. So as far as this shampoo, now they used it yesterday and I used it today. First off, it smells absolutely delicious. This is wonderful. And I'm not really sure, I'm not really sure. Maybe this is like a fruity smell, like maybe like a pomegranate or something like that. I don't know. This is such a pleasant smell. I love it. And this has a nice slip, if you know what if that you know what that means. Okay, so look at the texture of this, because I always like you to see the texture. So this is called honey cream, and it's about like a honey color, if you can see the color well. It's on the thick side because you can see how slowly it comes out. And then let me show you the texture in my hand. Like, this is thick. That is thick like honey, right? You see that? That's really nice. And it smells wonderful. And it left my hair feeling great. It left my daughter's hair feeling great. And so what I did, so I told you with the fenugreek has a really strong smell to me. And it kind of reminds me of like in that curry and turmeric, that kind of spice family. And when I first gave myself the fenugreek treatment, I was over ambitious and I left it in my hair overnight. And it took me days, literally days, and I had to wash my hair 2 consecutive days to try to get the smell out. So these shampoos smell so wonderful that I thought this would be something really good to wash your hair out with after the fenugreek to try to tone down that smell. Excellent shampoo. I definitely would recommend that to anybody. I mixed it with this agave and lavender. Now this shampoo, now you don't have to mix it. I like to play with products, and because I had the goal of trying to get the smell out of my hair, I decided I would try both of these because they both smell so good that let me try both. All right, so this can stand on its own. If you just had this, you're in good shape. All right, so this agave and lavender blow dry and silk press collection moisturizing hair bath. Now, I actually did not use this by itself. Now, this has a light perfumey smell. And when I say perfumey, I don't say that. Let me turn it around so you can see it. When I say perfumey, I don't mean perfumey in the negative sense. It's just, that's the first thing that I think of. It's very mild. It's not overpowering at all. It's not something where you open it and you're like, that's too much. But if I had to pick one word, I would just say it's kind of perfumey. I can't think of anything other than that to describe it. Now, I will say a little goes a long way. I didn't have to use much. And you can see that, as heavy-handed as I am with the products, I've washed my hair 3 times with this, and my daughter, we use this in her hair as well. And we haven't used much. So you're talking about maybe 4 washes minimum with this. And I had a head full, like a whole head full of lather, to the point where today I didn't even wash it a second time behind these 2 together, because it was so much. And it did such an awesome job. I didn't really have to follow it up and rewash it again. I was good to go with the first wash. All right, so any questions with that? So this Design Essentials, I got to tell you, I'm going to start to check out some more products in this line because I really liked it. And let me just show you this gel. Let me see, what does this smell like? Again, not a strong smell at all. And I guess I would say it kind of smells like a regular gel. But just look at how thick their products are. I love it. Like, that's coming down slowly. Right? Can you get a good look at that? Like I said, this did well in my hair. So hopefully, if I remember, I'll get out. I'm not sure what I have to do next weekend, but hopefully I can get out. I'd like to go back to the beach, or I have this new spot. I don't know if you guys on my personal page saw the pictures that I've been posting of the botanical garden near me that just opened up. I have, hey Debbie, I've been getting some really nice shots at this botanical garden, and it's 5 minutes from my house. So what I do is I try to go there a couple of times a week during my lunch hour and walk it twice. And They have beautiful flowers. They have a garden there that they are growing the nicest vegetables that they donate to a local food kitchen, soup kitchen. So it's just a nice place to get out and clear your head. Not too many people even know it's open yet. It's got the vegetable garden. They have an orchard. They have apple trees, pears, all kind of things. They're growing eggplant, peppers, tomatoes. It's just beautiful. Swiss chard, and it's like a hidden gem. So you go there, there are maybe two or three people in the whole garden. I walk around and it's a lovely place to snap some pictures. So if you see me taking, hey Trina, if you see me taking pictures and I've got a bunch of flowers behind me, I'm over at the botanical garden. So I'm going to try to test out this gel this week and maybe get over to the botanical garden if I can't make it all the way down to the beach. And I'm going to try this again. But I got to tell you, thumbs up for this Design Essential line. And I'm glad I didn't, I'm glad I found it, because this is definitely like not this particular product. I mean, that product is good. But in terms of the conditioner and these shampoos, I was sleeping on this brand. So thank God I found it, and I just decided to take a shot and order it at such a great price. I think I paid, because I just did the reorder, I paid like $4 less ordering it online than I would have paid had I gotten it out of the beauty supply store. And I got to tell you, I absolutely love it. So, like I said, I'm going to see what else they have, if they have like a leave-in conditioner or a curl cream. And I'm going to test it out, because so far so good, and I'm pleased. And you can see, like I said, 4 maybe shampoos out of this, and I have not used much, because a little goes a long way. And the lather is nice and thick, it's rich, it's moisturizing. I can't speak highly enough about my experience with Design Essentials right now. So look forward to me doing some pictures and things like that. I'm going to look for the styling products and start to style my hair with that. So any questions on anything so far? So I did have wash day today, and I myself, so I gave my daughter the hot oil treatment with the amla and fenugreek, and then this morning, I washed out the wax, the red sangria hair color, and I gave myself a treatment as well, but I used the amla, fenugreek, and ashwagandha, and I gave myself a hot oil treatment with that, and I left it in I didn't have that much time. I cut myself really short, so I think I left it only in there for about an hour, and I put the shower cap on it. And I really wanted to put the heating cap on it. I felt like my hair really, could use the heat. But like I said, I was trying to multitask and get things done, so I didn't have time to be still and just sit with the heating cap on. So I gave myself that treatment, and then I used this for my conditioner today. Now I will say I have where is it? The Apogee. I used a lot of Apogee products today to style my hair, but they have a 2-minute reconstructor that is like a keratin protein cream that you put on your hair, and you're literally supposed to just put it in like as a conditioner. You leave it in for 2 minutes and you rinse it out. Well, I don't leave it in for 2 minutes. And I was introduced to that years ago when my hair was relaxed and it used to like knot up like this, like doll's hair. And my beautician would use that in my hair because it's supposed to be really good for heat damaged hair and chemically damaged hair. She would put that in my hair and it would really solve the problem. So I'm using it on natural hair. So I did put that on the ends today along with this. And I have to tell you, I was very pleased with the way my hair looked when I washed all of the product out. I didn't have a lot of tangles. I didn't have a lot of breakage. I didn't have a lot of comb out. I didn't have a lot of shedding. So I think that I'm on the right track in terms of switching up the products that I'm using and the treatments that I'm giving my hair. So I'm gonna stick with the powder. And I actually was thinking, because I ended up having to touch up the gray around my forehead today, and I wasn't happy about it. I wasn't happy about doing it. And I was on the phone with my mother and I said, I wish they would do a hair wax or a hair gel or something like that in black, because I just wanted to cover up literally along my hairline. So what I did was I put my hair in a ponytail, and I literally, and I used the color change shampoo, and I literally just put the shampoo right around this end hairline around my forehead, and then I rinsed it out. I didn't want to color the rest of my hair, because you can really see, and I don't know if you pay attention in the pictures without the hair wax, you can see like this front part of my hair is jet black, and then you'll pick up the brown hue, the natural brown, dark brown color of my hair, and it's starting to look weird. So I'm on my last pack of the black color change shampoo. I didn't want to color this anymore. I'm going to switch over to the dark brown and probably eventually switch over to just henna. And I've said that before. I don't know that my hair likes after, I think this is probably like year 4 of using the color change shampoo. I'm not really sure that my hair is liking it anymore. So I'm going to switch over to henna. So next week I do have the henna, but I have the henna that conditions your hair, not colors the hair. So we talked about that before when I first started buying the powders, that henna, people know henna traditionally for coloring your hair, which henna can do. But they have what they call a neutral henna that you can buy. And I got mine right on Amazon. And I think I'm going to add that, because I've read really good things about that being awesome for the strength and the nourishment of your hair. So I figure I've gotten great results from the fenugreek in terms of stopping the excessive shedding and breakage. And I'll see if using the henna will help also regain the texture of my hair, that, the normal texture that I want to bring back. So that's about today's wash day. So, I had said after I washed my hair, now this is another line that this is Uncle Funky's daughter. I don't know who's heard of this. And I had said I wanted to try this for a long time, and I couldn't find it in any stores near me. And I had just never thought to, or just never bothered to buy it online. But I happened to catch this in CVS. Now, this is their Curly Magic Curl Stimulator for kinky, curly, and wavy textures. So this says you just cleanse and detangle your hair, apply a quarter-sized dollop to sections of soaking wet hair from root to end, finger comb, and style. Okay, so this is supposed to be like your styling cream, your styler. So I said, I'm going to test this out and see how my hair looks, and then I could, show you guys on the live. Now, I didn't end up styling my hair with this, and I had a mini disaster. So I want to talk to you about this, because once I read that you just put this in and you've heard of it, Trina? Okay, so listen, there's no mention here of using any kind of leave-in before you put this styler in. So I came up with the bright idea. I was like, okay, I really prefer to have a leave-in conditioner, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to put my normal African Pride leave-in, which I use every week in my hair. I'm going to put that leave-in in, and then I will put this Curly Magic Curl Stimulator in on top of it. And I should have known better, right? Like, I've been doing this for a while, and I love to mix products, and this one just kind of went right over my head. So first of all, let me show you the texture of this. Maybe, let me pump it out. This wasn't what I was expecting. Okay, so this is kind of wet. And it kind of reminds you, let's see, I'm trying to get the light right. Right, so you can see it's already running down. So this is on the wet side. It's running down my hand. You see that? Now, I typically use thick products. So for me, what does this smell like? I don't know. I have to think about that. But anyway, I don't use anything this thin on my hair, and definitely not alone, right? Like, this kind of reminds me of a mixture of like a wet kind of gel, and I'm not one for using gel in my hair. So I put this in a small section of my hair, and I didn't like, without the leave-in, and I didn't like it. I was like, this was like using gel. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do my normal thing, and I'm going to put my leave-in conditioner in the rest of my hair, and then I'll apply the curl stimulator on top of it. What a disaster. So, not all products, and I've talked about this months ago and I never really revisited it, but not all products play well together. You cannot mix all products in your hair and think that it's going to work. And I did not test this out before I put it in my hair. So I had curl stimulator in like a small section over here, and then I put the leave-in in. And usually I play with products and a lot of them, because I stick to a lot of creams, they play well together and I don't have much of a problem. But I put this in and I'm rubbing it through, and all I see are like clumps of product. And I went, oh my gosh, these two don't go together at all. So if you're going to mix products, you need to test them on the back of your hand first, because you can tell when you mix products on your hand whether or not they're going to play well together, and you can mix them in your hair. Now, unfortunately, excuse me, you guys, I don't have my leave-in out here, but I do have the curling cream. Let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. I don't know if the curling cream and this is going to go together. But if you take the products that you want to mix and rub them on the back of your hand, if they start turning like gritty and clumping up and they're not mixing, now, if you look at this, let's see, this is not mixing well at all. So a lot of times it'll get really gritty. Now, see, let me see if I rub this more, if you can kind of see. That doesn't smooth into your, can you guys see it on my laptop? That doesn't smooth into your hair well. Like how you see, like this is clumping. This is what it does in the hair. Like it just you can never blend it in. And so I just had all these patches and clumps of product in my hair, and I had to go back into the sink with the shampoo and wash it out. So I'm going to tell you what I did, because now I was really more in the mindset and the mind frame of just styling my hair. I didn't use and I was in the bathroom. I don't even know if I had the design essentials in there with me, but what I had handy was a brand that I also like. You guys know I use a lot of Shea Moisture. And this is Shea Moisture's Make It Last Wash and Go shampoo. And I have pictures a long time ago. Let me see if I can get the light right for you guys. I have pictures up on Instagram, and they should be on Facebook, using this product. Now, I've used to talk about in the beginning how different products give you a different effect. This product definitely does something different to my hair. If I wanted a particular look for my wash and go, like really defined curls, like, I used to like the wavy look. This kind of gives me automatically like more type ringlets, like spirals by itself, as opposed to some of the other products that I use. But I rinsed it out because I knew the effect that this had on my hair, and I knew tonight I was wearing my signature wash and go. I just grabbed this because I knew that this would kind of get my curls back popping quickly. So I used this, and then I said, you know what? I haven't used this curl primer. They have a curl primer. And then they actually have, I don't think the lighting is working too good tonight. They have a primer, like a styling gel that you put in your hair after this as well. So I used to love the way my hair looked with this. So I said, you know what, maybe it's time for me to switch up brands. And my cousin, I don't know whether it was last week or the week before, under one of my lives, she said, when we were talking about how my hair used to look in 2018, and she said, what were you doing, and what products were you using back then? And I remember this is one of the lines that I did use. So I put it in this side of my hair, and I liked it. And then I said, you know what? I specifically remember the pictures that I have up using Apogee Curlific. And so I said, you know what? Let me go back with the current texture of my hair because it's very different from the way it was back in 2018 and 2019. I said, let me go back and on this side, I will use the Curlific and look at the different results. And so I used, this is their moisture rich leave-in, which I used to love this. So this is creamy. This is a pump, but this is creamy. So I'm going to shake this up. Let's do it this way. Okay. So it's a pump, but it comes out kind of like a cream. And I just rub it in my hands and smooth it in. And you see it's nice and shiny. So it gives your hair a nice sheen. So I put this in this half of my hair. And then I followed it up with their curl definer. And let me show you. This is a nice fragrance, like a nice scent. Nothing specific, nothing overwhelming, very mild. Okay, so this is the curl definer. Again, another shiny product. Smooth, you know, creamy. And I rubbed this in on top of the leave-in. And I have to tell you, the curls popped right in. I didn't even have to finger coil them. All I did was rub it in my hair, and I saw the spirals just springing into action, and they were shiny, and it was beautiful. And my daughter walked past the bathroom, and she looked at it, and she said, wow, your hair looks great. I said, yeah, this, you know, like, I don't know why I ever put this down with the results that I got. And so it looked so good that I just took this. Now I know that these, because I used to do this, I know that these two lines do play well together. And I've mixed these because they're similar in texture. I've mixed these before and put this in my hair. So I knew that they would play well. So I went ahead and took this and applied it to this half of the hair, of my hair, and then just restyled it. And you see how shiny my hair is? Now, my hair has been, to me, my hair's been looking dull for months. But this is, I don't know. This is, my hair is maybe 70% dry. It feels kind of damp at the roots. But the ends of my hair, this is pretty dry. It's just the back, like all by my neck and underneath, where it's still, yeah, the roots back here are still pretty wet. But the front, all of this is pretty solidly dry. But you see how nice and shiny that looks? Is that a good shot? So I said to my daughter, I said, I think I'm going to actually put down the African Pride for a while and go back to using this effigy. So they have, in addition to the curl primer, they have the whole line. The Moisture Rich, they have the shampoo, they have a conditioner, and they have a curl texture treatment. So I'm going to go back to, I normally find all of these out of Sally Beauty Supply. I don't see these in my local beauty supply stores too much. Once in a while, I might pick up or might see a couple of things in the line, but I don't really see beauty supply stores, local beauty supply stores that carry the whole line near me. So if I want the whole line, I typically have to go to Sally's and pick it up. But I think I'm going to go get the curl texture treatment, and I don't have much left in this. And I think I'm going to go back to styling my hair with that for a while, and I'm going to give my hair a break from the Moisture Miracle. So, you know, I'm happy that I have all of these options and all of these products in the house that I can switch up and try. So I think, you know, I haven't looked at myself in the mirror. I've been out here. I was out here setting up after I washed it, trying to set up and get ready to go live. So I don't know what this is really looking like in my mirror. But in terms of the camera, looking at myself in the camera, to me, it looks okay. So let me just, in terms of the camera, looking at myself in the camera, let me turn the volume off. I'm just trying to keep up with the comments tonight. Yeah, I like it. No complaints. So if anybody is interested in trying out some new products, yeah, you know, I think my neighbors here would do good with this. This to me looks like it would, it seems, because it gives you the nice sheen and everything. For people with like short haircuts, I can see this line really doing well for a nice sharp haircut. So that would be my recommendation for the week. Oh, and then you know what? Here's just another little thing. I went to the as I went was going to the beauty supply store. My daughter asked me to pick up one of those little, you know, those little round. They're about this size, but they're a circle, a little round shampoo brush that has the teeth on it, but the teeth are pointy. So my daughter asked me. We have one in the house. We couldn't find it. My daughter said, "Can you pick up a shampoo brush?" She wanted to use it for her son's scalp. So I went to the beauty supply store and they didn't have them. And this is the only thing that they had. So when I brought it back, excuse me, she was like, "Oh, I don't want that. That's not, sharp enough and everything for what she wanted. She wanted to be able to like really scrub his scalp." So I said, "No problem. I'm going to keep it." And if you see the edges around, this makes for such a nice massager. Like when you are giving yourself a hot oil treatment, or you know how we're always saying massage your scalp for 5 minutes a day, put a little warm oil on it, a little Jamaican black castor oil or something like that on your scalp and rub it. I tried this and I just used this to massage my scalp with the oil in it, and I loved it. And so when I looked at the tag, it actually does say shampoo brush and like massager. So I'm gonna use this from now on, instead of just always using my fingertips to massage my scalp. I'm actually going to even start using this to stimulate the circulation. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. I don't know if you've actually seen a brush like this in the store. Honestly, it's been in the beauty supply store all the time, but I've never been in the market for one, so I never even paid it any mind. I just overlooked it every week, but it's nice and soft where it's not going to hurt your scalp, and you're not, your scalp's not going to be sore when you're done. And this is round, the edges are round. So I just want to share that with you guys. If, especially for anybody who might have long fingernails and you don't want to have your fingers in your scalp, you might want to consider getting something like this that you can use and massage your scalp with this, as opposed to your fingers and messing up your fingernails. All right. I think that's it for me. It's 8:45. I really wanted to talk to you about the design essentials. And again, I'm gonna keep you guys posted on the response from ORS and see what they say. If they can tell me, something that I can do to make that stop flaking, then I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to be very happy because I loved it. I loved the brown and I loved the sangria. I do think I like the brown a tad bit more than the sangria. But, I can't wait to try this ruby. It should be pretty similar to the sangria based on what I've seen in other people's hair. But I think I'm going to try this out next weekend, and then I'll do the pictures for you. But I'm having so much fun with the colors. They had a copper. I believe it was called copper. I actually almost ordered it because I said I would love to see, now having done that brown, the golden bars, I wanted to see if I took it one step further and did the copper, how would it look? And then this morning I saw a picture of this. The girl was beautiful. She light skinned girl with like greenish colored eyes, and she pulled her hair up. And so she had the roots of her hair black, and she had her hair in a puff, but the puff was like that golden copper color. And it was so striking on her. And I said, that was such a nice effect. I said, maybe if I get the copper and I don't want to go like 100% copper, maybe that's something I would do. Test it and see if I pull it up and leave the roots black and then just color the puff. Take a few pictures. I don't know that I would walk around all week like that. Then I could wash it right out. That's the good thing, is that they wash it right out in one shampoo. It comes right out. So, for $7.99 for this brand, for $7.99 to put it in just to play with it and test it, I'm not opposed to doing that. So I might pick up some more colors and it's fun, even just for the pictures, even just to put it in for one day, take some pictures and then wash it out. you know. And I will say the sangria, in terms of not just the flaking. Now, here's the weird thing, and I think I put this in my post. It did not rub off on my pillowcase. And I sleep with a white satin pillowcase. And even this morning, I'm checking my pillowcase and I'm flipping it over, looking to see if the sangria, ran on the pillowcase. It did not. But I went out for a walk one night this week and I put on a hoodie with a collar, and I put on it was a light gray, like zip up hoodie. The whole back of the neck when I came in was red. And so I was annoyed. Now they seem to wash right out of the clothes and everything easily, because remember I had gotten that spot with the golden bars in the shirt, and with one wash it came right out. You can't even tell that there was ever a stain on the shirt. So I'm okay with the fact that they wash out, but I'm thinking, had I been going somewhere, or let's say, you get hot and you want to pick your hair up. You know how sometimes we're out and then all of a sudden you twist your hair up because you want to get the hair off of your neck. If you're out somewhere, I would have lifted up my hair and then the whole back of my shirt would have been red, which isn't really cool. Hey neighbor. Hey Sheena. So, I'm just waiting to see. Hopefully within a day or two, they will come up with a solution to the flaking problem. But, I'm just happy. Like I said, I'm impressed that within, let's say 12 hours, they even responded and acknowledged that I sent the message questioning it. And I think maybe part of it was that I didn't attack them. And I didn't say this, I wasn't yelling and, saying that this is horrible, it's flaking. I just said, I said it flaked, and can you help me? I don't know, is it something that I'm doing wrong with the product? Or, is it in my application process? Can you please help me, because I love it and I'd like to use it. I need to be able to stop the flaking. And so, they responded right away. So we'll see what happens. I've watched reviews on about 3 different brands for these temporary hair colors, and I have yet to find a brand where people did not say they had flaking issues. So some say they have more issues than others. I found that the sangria definitely flaked twice as much as the golden bars. And I don't know whether it was because the red shows up so much, whereas this was so mild. But when I say I had to literally wash my sink, maybe every time I washed my hands, I had to wash my sink. I'll put it like that, because you could see like it was forming a red, not only were the flakes all over the sink, but around the drain, it was like you could see a red tint forming. So I had to scrub my sink all day long, which is just not doable on a long-term basis. So, the colors are beautiful. If we can figure out the flaking issue, then I would totally give it a thumbs up. But right now, I won't do the sangria, or, I'm thinking maybe you have to do it, like I said, do it for a day for a special event, and then especially, and then wear black, because you don't want that rubbing off on any sort of, you don't want to have a different, like a light blue and now your neck is red, or you've got red flakes all over a light blue outfit. So, you have to coordinate your colors, but it's maybe fun for a day, just for an event, if you're going to have your hair up and you're not touching it, and then take it down. It's good for that. But the sangria, the flaking was way too much. So hopefully this Curlsmith will be a success. And, they call this a gel, but when I was watching the influencers put this in, they said this is really more of a cream as well, which works for me, because I don't do gel. So they said this looks just like your typical curling cream, except it's red. So I'm anxious to try it. And I'll give you guys my review, my feedback on that. So Sheena, I know I talked to you and I said I like the fenugreek in terms of stopping the breaking and the shedding. Still, I still stand by it, and I put it in Camille's hair today, so I will see if she sees a difference. And I packed some up for her to take home with her so she can use it for a couple of weeks in a row, and then see if she feels like the breakage in her hair stopped. I did her hair today. I combed it out last night, rather. I combed it out, and I actually put flat twists in the front of her hair, and then twists in the back, so she can do a good twist out. And as I was styling her hair and combing it out, I did not see a lot of breakage. So you know, if it holds up and it continues to do what I think it's doing and I see great results, then I'm going to really advocate it for anybody who is experiencing a lot of breakage. All right. So I'm going to, like I said, next week, I think I'm going to incorporate the henna. Maybe I'll do the henna by itself just so I can see how my hair responds to the henna. And if I think it's doing anything to help the texture, because the texture still is off, but it is getting better. But a lot of it, you know, just has to get cut off the bottom. So I don't know what it's saying. My battery on my computer is about to die. But anyway, I'm done. It's 8:52. Thank you guys for joining. I'll have some new pictures up for you this week. I took some more pictures with the sangria in my hair. So I'll get those posted for you. And then we'll try the, how long did I leave it in my hair? A whole week. I just washed it out this morning. So what was that, 7 days? From Sunday to Sunday. Yeah, it just flaked too much. It was beautiful, but it wasn't doable in terms of managing the flakes. I held out because I really wanted to get pictures, but I would not leave it in my hair for 7 days again unless I kept my hair in a bun the whole time and never touched it, because literally every time I washed my hands, just going like this or like this. And I think I don't know if I posted the picture. If not, I'll stick it on one of the posts. And I'll show you. I snapped a picture of my sink because that's how ridiculous it was. And I sent it to ORS and said, this is what my sink looks like every time. If I just do this, my sink was full. And then I had to wash the sink out again. So, and I think I really also, if I'm going to put the wax back in my hair, I'm going to do the golden bars because that flaked, but it was nowhere near as bad as the sangria. All right. So any questions? If you guys have any questions, leave your questions under the post. We're about to get cut off because my battery, I don't know. I have my laptop charging. I don't know why the battery is dying. But anyway, have a good night. I'll have some more pictures for you this week. And I'll give you any kind of updates that I have. Ask you questions. If you have questions, leave them under the post, okay? And then when I watch the replay, I will answer them for you. All right? So everyone, have a good night. Thanks for joining. See you next Sunday here, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if all goes well, I probably will come live with the ruby. I don't know that I'm going to do the ruby. I don't know that I'm going to apply it live again, because after that, when I looked at my hair, I had so many spots in the back where I didn't have it colored that I had to go back and recolor the whole head. So I think I will apply it in the bathroom and then probably just come on live next week with the ruby in my hair. All right. So everyone have a great night. Thank you again. And I look forward to talking to you next weekend. All right. Good night.